Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Richard Branson are three of the richest men on the planet right now, and besides that, the three tycoons also have a vested interest in space travel in common. Over the past year, all three men have worked toward their goal of making commercial spaceflight a reality. Musk has SpaceX, Bezos is at the helm of Blue Origins, and Branson is running the show over at Virgin Galactic. All three companies share the same goals, and all three billionaires are in stiff competition to be the first to achieve those goals. Today in this video, we're going to take a look at Bezos versus Musk versus Branson, the billionaire space race. For starters, let's get a little background on these three wannabe astronauts and the companies they're leading into the stars. First is Richard Branson and Virgin Galactic. Virgin Galactic is an American spaceflight company founded by Richard Branson and his British Virgin Group in 2004. It is headquartered in California, USA, and launches from New Mexico, where its mission control is located. The company is developing commercial spacecraft and aims to provide suborbital space flights to space tourists. Virgin Galactic's suborbital spacecraft is air-launched from beneath a carrier airplane known as White Knight 2. Virgin Galactic's maiden spaceflight occurred in 2018 with its VSS Unity spaceship. Branson had originally hoped to see a maiden spaceflight by 2010, but the date was delayed for several years, primarily due to the October 2014 crash of VSS Enterprise. On July 12th of this year, Branson became the first person to ride into space aboard a rocket he helped to fund. Next up is Jeff Bezos and his aerospace company Blue Origin, who was the first of the three to start a company in the pursuit of commercial space travel. Blue Origin was founded in 2002 by Jeff Bezos, the founder and CEO of Amazon. The company is led by CEO Bob Smith and aims to make access to space cheaper and more reliable through reusable launch vehicles. Blue Origin is developing a variety of technologies, with a focus on rocket-powered vertical takeoff and vertical landing vehicles for access to suborbital and orbital space. Initially focused on suborbital spaceflight, the company has designed, built, and flown multiple test beds of its New Shepard vehicle at its facilities in Culberson County, Texas. Developmental test flights of the New Shepard, named after the first American in space, Alan Shepard, began in 2015, and flight testing is ongoing. Blue Origin rescheduled the original 2018 date for the first passengers several times, and eventually successfully flew its first crewed mission on July 20, 2021, making Bezos the second man to fly into space on a privately funded spacecraft in only 8 days. Last, we'll take a peek under the hood of Elon Musk's SpaceX. SpaceX was founded in 2002 by Elon Musk to reduce space transportation costs to enable the colonization of Mars. SpaceX manufactures the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy launch vehicles, several rocket engines, Dragon cargo, crew spacecraft, and Starlink communication satellites. SpaceX's achievements include the first privately funded liquid propellant rocket to reach orbit with a Falcon 1 in 2008. The first private company to successfully launch, orbit, and recover spacecraft with the Dragon 10 in 2010. The first company to send a spacecraft to the International Space Station with the Dragon in 2012. The first vertical takeoff and vertical propulsive landing for an orbital rocket with a Falcon 9 in 2015. The first reuse of an orbital rocket with a Falcon 9 in 2017. And the first private company to send astronauts to orbit and to the International Space Station with the SpaceX Crew Dragon Demo 2 in 2020. SpaceX has flown and reflown the Falcon 9 series of rockets over 100 times to date. On January 24th of this year, SpaceX hit a milestone by becoming the company to have launched into space the most spacecraft on a single mission, with 143 Starlink satellites. All three of these titans of industry founded their three companies within a few years of one another in the early 2000s, but each has its business model and plans for a spacefaring future. Musk founded SpaceX to develop reusable rockets that would lower the cost of blasting people and things into space. That's what the Hawthorne, California-based SpaceX has spent the better part of the past 2 decades trying to achieve, and it's made some great strides. SpaceX has completed numerous launches for commercial and government customers, and in 2012, it became the first private company to send a spacecraft to the International Space Station. In 2020, it became the first to send humans to space and the ISS. And in April, NASA picked the company to land the first astronauts on the moon since 1972. Virgin Galactic and Richard Branson have had a tougher time reaching their goals. Branson's efforts to open up commercial space travel have been turbulent, facing repeated setbacks as he repeatedly proclaimed it was just around the corner and comes on the heels of a successful test flight in May. A sizable fraction of his fortune is now derived from his stake in Galactic. The long-awaited maiden voyage into space on July 12th came at a crucial time in the dash to open up space civilians. As Galactic competes with ventures from Musk's SpaceX and Bezos, both also at advanced stages. Like Musk, the Amazon billionaire Bezos' fascination with space travel stretches back decades. Bezos founded Blue Origin in 2000 with a similar goal as Musk's venture: make space exploration cheaper through boosters that can be recycled for future launches. The Kent, Washington-based company operated in total secrecy until about 2003, and Bezos stayed tight-lipped about its plans for more than a decade after that. The company has been testing a suborbital rocket called New Shepard, built to take paying tourists to the edge of space in a pressurized capsule. The idea is that on a Blue Origin flight, space tourists will be able to catch a glimpse of Earth through large windows and experience a few minutes of weightlessness. Blue Origin completed its first human flight aboard New Shepard on Tuesday, July 20th, 2021. When it launched Bezos, his brother Mark, legendary aviator Wally Funk, and 18-year-old student Oliver Damon more than 350,000 feet up. Although all the three men are realizing the goals set by their companies when they started them, most experts see Musk as the billionaire that will come out on top of the privately funded commercial space race. Musk and SpaceX have leaped much further ahead than the other two aerospace entities, flying astronauts to the International Space Station last year and shooting for a trip around the moon in 2023. What Elon is doing is on the order of 50 times more difficult than Blue Origin's trip to space on July 20th, said Peter Diamond, founder of the X Prize, which helped to kickstart the commercial space industry more than 2 decades ago. While Musk is the clear frontrunner in most people's eyes, it's important to remember how fast fortunes can change in the aerospace industry. A failed launch, or God forbid loss of life, could send any of these companies into the abyss of failure. One thing is for sure, the opening up of suborbital space tourism will be something to behold for those of us lucky enough to witness and experience it, but it won't be cheap, so you may want to start saving your space ticket money now. Drop us a comment and let us know your thoughts on today's content, and be sure to hit that subscribe button and tickle that bell icon so you'll stay informed on the release of our next video.